Wow, I mean, ever since I bought this new Glock, I guess a lot of new subscribers are asking me about Glock. Am I a Glock fanboy? I guess so. I'm also a Springfield XD fanboy, but the ultimate handgun for me, my favorite platform is the 1911, and so far will always be the 1911. You know, when you got a gun that's been around 100 years and it's still mainstream, you know what I mean? That is ridiculously unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? So, plus they're beautiful 1911s, and they're reliable too. When you get one that's made right, they're extremely reliable. So, I have the XD out here. The only reason why I got the XD out here is because I'm going to be truthful with you. Okay? My favorite polymer gun as of right now, as we speak, my favorite polymer gun right now is the XD. I love the Glocks. I like the HK. I love the quality of the HK, but the HK quality, carry, and comfort, it's amazing. Accuracy is amazing. Okay? But I'm not going to spend a G note on a gun that I can't shoot well. So that's why the HK is not here anymore. It's just not for me. The XD I shoot very well with. It has a fantastic trigger, and it's made like a tank. Gives you that extreme high quality, solid feeling. The Springfield XD. I love it. I love it. Okay? So that's why that's out here. But we're really going to talk about Glock today. I got a couple comments and couple people that don't like Glock or don't know Glock too well. And one guy said, "What is it with Glock? What's the big deal? Why do so many people like Glock? What's the deal with Glock? I don't get it. They're ugly. They're plastic and And I was looking at his comment, and I gave him a whole list of reasons. I said, you know what, I'm just going to do a video on it. Gives me some more content, and it's just, I've done this before, but I'm trying to hit it at a different angle this time, and it's just something else we can hang out and talk about. Okay, I'm going to do the best I can because I'm not a full-fledged Glock enthusiast. There's people out there that know things about Glock that I couldn't even dream about. They know them inside out, backwards and forwards. Every which way you can imagine. They just know it. You know what I mean? But, I'm a Glock, familiar with Glock, okay? So we're going to go on the list. So Glock, what's the big deal about Glock? Well, first of all, you can get a brand new Glock, just about every model, not every model, but just about every model for about $450 to $550 in that area right there. So in the gun world, that's extremely affordable. Right there. That's one good reason. Now, I don't care how good of a price a gun is, if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, I don't care if it's $100. You didn't get a good deal, right? Well, this is why it's a good deal. First of all, you got the appearance. Like I said, when I first seen a Glock, I thought it was horrible looking. The slide looks like a stick of butter. I mean, if you painted the slide yellow and put it in a refrigerator, it looks like a stick of butter, right? It was just the oddest looking thing I ever seen. Okay? And then for years I wouldn't buy a Glock. And I always said I'm never going to buy a Glock. And then one day I said, man, everyone's got them. Every time I look at a cop, there's a Glock on his hip. Or a Sig Sauer. But 9 times out of 10 it's a Glock. Okay? And, gun owners and gunsmiths, they're all walking around. And most of the time they got a Glock on their hip. Sometimes an M&P, sometimes a Sig. And a lot of times a 1911, but most of the time it's always a Glock. And I'm like, what the fuck is it with these Glock dudes, man? So I said, let me buy one. Let me buy one. And the first Glock I ever bought, I think, was a Glock 22. At the time, that's what a lot of law enforcement were carrying, was the Glock 22. It was a very popular 40 caliber full-size frame Glock. And I took it to the range. And I shot it. And I shot it. And I shot it. And I'm like, man, this thing is extremely impressive. I thought it was going to kick like a mule because it was so damn light. I thought I was going to be shooting all over the place because it was so damn light. And it's top heavy because of the light frame. And then I got a Glock 30 SF. That thing shot like a Cadillac. It's like, man, these things are really something else. So, you know, as time went on, they grew on me. And then you see them in movies all the time. You're seeing them, you're seeing them, you're seeing them. And it's like when you go out with a woman, she ain't that hot looking. You know what I mean? And you find out she's a high quality person. You understand? And she becomes attractive. That ever happened to you? That's happened to me. I've met someone and I'm like, I ain't attracted to her. Then I got to know her and she's a good person, and you know, and she became, it's the same thing with the freaking gun. I didn't like it, but after I found out of its high quality and its performance, it started to become attractive. Now I think they're really cool looking. That's what happens. Ain't that weird? So as far as appearance wise, you'll get over that and that'll grow on you. The finish, I'm a stickler for finishes. Glocks probably have probably one of the most durable finishes of all guns. I mean, every gun's finish wears off, but the Glocks really hang in there, and the finish on the barrels are off the charts, ridiculous, durable. I mean, I'll put 25 rounds through a SIG, and it has the smiley face on the barrel already. All the bluing's rubbed off. 25 rounds and it comes off. But that doesn't, I don't care about that. Who cares? I mean, professionals use SIG, Navy SEALs and all this, you know. But if you're a stickler about appearance, you're going to love Glock's new models with their new barrel finishes, because the shit don't come off. Here's a Glock here with 500 rounds through it. I've showed you guys before. 500 rounds through it. And the finish is still on the barrel. I mean, this is loaded, so let's make sure it's safe. Okay, look at this. 500 rounds, and it has the finish is just like nil, not even a scratch. I don't know what they have on here. I don't know what they figured out, but it's definitely a huge breakthrough, because they're not sharing it with everyone else, because everyone else is coming off. So that's kind of cool. Is that a deal breaker for me? No, I don't. All the finishes come off, the XDs and all, but it's just something really cool about that. You know what I mean? That's pretty neat. Another thing is, well, let me not jump the gun here. Trigger's pulled. What's cool about the Glock is the trigger gives you a lot of information. When the trigger's to the rear, that means it's been pulled, and it's pretty much kind of a safety indicator. You know what I'm saying? So if I put the magazine in there, the trigger's to the rear, and nothing's going to happen. It tells me that it's decocked. The trigger's been pulled. I wouldn't use that as a chamber indicator. Some people do. Not a chamber indicator. What the hell am I talking about? Yeah, a chamber indicator. Some people think if the trigger's forward, there's one in the chamber. Man, I ain't right today. I wouldn't use that as a chamber indicator. They have a chamber indicator here, but it's weak. That's a downside for me. I do not like Glock's chamber indicator. Okay, that's the only thing I don't like about Glock, is the chamber indicator is kind of shitty, because it's just not clear enough for me. From the last time I checked, at least 70 to 80% of law enforcement professionals use Glock. I mean, I would say that's pretty amazing. Okay, that's another reason. I mean, if these guys are using it, if they're good enough for them, they're good enough for you. You know what I'm saying? And check this out. Gun sales combined, all gun sales combined, I hate to admit it, because I'm an XD fan, but I think XD's breathing down Glock's neck and gaining on him. The XD is going to be the next Glock. I'm telling you it is. Just give it some time. But gun sales combined right now, 65% of gun sales are Glock sales. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. They're like so far ahead, no one's going to catch them. No one's going to catch them. The XD might. You know what I mean? It's going to take a long time. There's another reason why it's good to buy Glock. I mean, what's that tell you? It tells you they work, they're reliable, everyone uses them, professionals use them, and another big strong point about Glock, which is something I don't care too much about, is they're extremely light. They're very light in weight. They're real light. And they have a lot of firepower. Another claim to their fame is their magazine capacity. Their magazines, they hold a lot of ammunition. So they're light, they have a lot of firepower, they're extremely reliable, and probably more forces use Glock more than any other model pistol. I mean, that's just the facts. That's just the way it is. And, you know, Glock's not the first polymer gun. The HK was. But Glock was the first to make it hugely successful. Okay? So they got a big gain and a big head start on everybody. But it's pretty amazing. And the most important thing to me is about Glock, what really impresses me about them, there's very little, I explained this before in a video before, there's very little friction. They have these little tabs, okay, these tiny little tabs. See, let's get this one. They don't need a lot of lubrication. A lot of pistols need lubrication or they won't run right, but these pistols do not need a lot of lubrication because, show you why if I can do this. Okay, here it goes. You have these tiny little rails. They're very little. They're only about a 1/4 inch long by 1/16 wide, and there's 1, 2, there's 3, 4, and there's 4 of them. All right. This whole slide rides on them little tiny rails that fit in this groove. And when they fit in the groove, here's the thing. When they fit in the groove, let me put this guide spring back in. They don't, there's a lot of space. See how loose it is? Look, there's a lot of space in between the groove of the slide and the tabs. It's like barely touches them. So that's why they run dirty. They don't have to be real clean to run, and they don't need a lot of lubrication. And another thing is, a huge thing is for me, so I've been shooting better now, is the reset trigger. The reset, that when you reset a Glock's trigger, it resets closer than any gun I have. Okay, so if I hold the trigger in and I let it go till it clicks. Let me see, look how far back to the rear. Look how far back to the rear the trigger is. It's ready to go again. Look. See? Do it again for you. Okay, let's let it out. Look at that. Right there, it's ready to go again. Okay, that's another thing that these Glocks have over other pistols. There's just another thing for you. It's really neat. And another thing I want to clear up, I seen some guy doing a video on a Glock, and he goes, well, I don't like Glock's plastic magazines. First of all, dude, these magazines are not plastic, okay? They have a steel skeleton inside, and they're wrapped in polymer. So they're steel with, which is polymer is a durable plastic. They're steel wrapped in plastic. So they're doubly, okay? So, I just don't like seeing people, you know, doing reviews and giving false information. Because see the steel here? If you push the magazine down, you see the steel skeleton inside. You can see the steel skeleton through the holes. And it's very durable, Mac. They have some of the best magazines. Glock's magazines are amazing. Okay, there's another thing about them. Okay, now like I said, I'm just telling you facts. I'm not just here to brag about the gun because I have it. These are things that I know about it, and they are true facts. I like the XD. I love the XD. You know what I mean? I love the way it feels. So, but Glocks are amazing. This is why people like them. I hope this helped you out. So Glock, what's the big deal? There it is. That's a pretty big deal to me. So you get all that uniqueness for $500, $550, okay? You know, there's so many accessories for these guns, and you can work on them yourself. You can change your own sights, you can change your own trigger, you can change your own trigger tension. You don't have to take them to a gunsmith. You can put all different kinds of recoil springs in them. You can put extended takedown tabs on them. I can put an extended slide. I mean, that's another thing you can do. They're fun. You can work on them, and you know, to a certain extent, and you won't screw it up. So that's the big deal. Alright guys, hope you liked the video. If you're a Glock hater, you're going to hate this video. See you later.